And welcome back, everybody, to another CBC podcast. This week, we have a great show for you because there's a ton of things to talk about. As always, I'm your host, Armin. What you guys should do, as a favor to me, is go play Call of Duty with me so I'm not as terrible.
Ooh.
That's what you should do. I've played with a couple
So, you
people.
looking for a carry?
They
For
pretty
shame.
a couple people from the fans have actually been carrying me in some matches till I get good. There's two maps in particular I'm so god awful at. My kill death ratio might be like 10 deaths, 2 kills, maybe even
Wow,
worse.
that's bad.
Dude, I'm terrible at this like one map that has to do with the cave system and everything. So if you're listening to this and you're on there, you should join me for some Call of Duty every night. Anyway, I'm here with Mitch,
What's up? You can find me at Mitch692.
also Tristan.
Hey guys, you can catch me at It's J Chance.
And of course, this week we do have another bonus topic for you guys, all you members out there. We're going to be talking about Bruce Banner possibly training a new generation of Avengers. But with that in mind, just a quick shout out to all the CBC sponsors and producers, which you guys can check out in the description down below, who make this cast pretty much possible. Of course, starting off with Casey O'Connor, Delton H, Jack Dan, Todd Productions, Nerds of the Multiverse, The Marvel Fanatic, and Alfie Palmer. So thank you guys for those memberships and your support. Now, with that in mind, we're going to be talking about a bunch of stuff here on this podcast. We have no time to waste. Trust me, we don't, because the leaf blowers are outside, and when they show back
They're
up,
gonna get you.
it's going to sound like I'm in a hurricane of sorts. So with that in mind, we're just going to get to the actual show. So we knew this movie was coming. We knew they were going to do it because you had to do it. It's an Oscar-winning film series now, right? Like Into the Spider-Verse 2.
Yep.
But we now have a release date, and it's a little further away than most people thought, I think. But you know what? It's happening, so be excited.
So, what's the date on it again? It's 2021,
It's
isn't it?
2 years out, so 2022. I
Yeah,
think.
2022.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is kind of far.
I was kind of bummed about that, but like the more I think about it, the more I realize they need this time because like the first one, the research and development to just make that CG and everything work was like it took so much time and
Like,
effort. It's like, you know
isn't-
what, take your time.
Isn't like most of the scenes like hand drawn anyway? So
It's a weird combination.
Yeah.
There's some
'Cause I know they're,
hand-drawn
like-
things in there, but for the majority, it's obviously
yeah, because I know like they had like this whole marketing about we did this whole thing in like Photoshop and all that stuff.
Right. Yeah, no, there's
They did some crazy stuff on it, so
yeah, there was a lot of like if you look at how that movie was made and how they combined animation styles and CG and hand drawing and it was a lot. So with this, like, I don't care that I have to wait this long because I'm assuming it's going to be another fantastic film. And of course, that teaser kind of confirmed a lot of characters to us. So
that's a worry. That's a worry.
that is my only worry. And it's like, that's a lot of Spider people to toss into one film, including what many believe is going to be Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Like,
Yeah, we'll see. Well, he was supposed to be in the original, so
Yep.
maybe like
I mean-
with where they're at now, like
Right.
maybe it's more possible. But
the new contract kind of tells me it's like, yeah, they're gonna put him in
Yeah,
there. So
yeah. I mean, it's cool. Like my one complaint, and it was a fairly big one with the original, was how they treated the other characters that weren't the core three.
yeah,
Because like that third act was not up to scratch to the rest of the movie, which was really tight. And the third act was kind of like, yeah, there we go. So if we're adding in like what another 9 that it looks to be, that's
I know, but then again, a lot of them could have been like cameos or just one-off jokes.
I mean, they were cameos in the first one, but they pushed them as main characters. So it's like either do something with them or don't
Yeah.
have them in there at all.
because I
kind
know
of
like
thing.
1965 Spider-Man was just in there for a joke. So
right. And now
Yeah,
it
it's
looks
just
like, I mean, now it looks like him, and I'm guessing 2099 is probably going to play a more important part.
oh, he has to be in there.
Right, exactly.
Like, that was a sequel. hook
And-
and a half, but-
I don't know if they're gonna do it with the sequel, but people have noticed that Miles' spider's different. It was from another dimension, so he
That'd
technically
be interesting if they got more of him,
Yeah.
as opposed to Peter Parker's. But there's like the Japanese Spider-Man in there, which people thought was the Iron Spider. It's just like, no, it's the Japanese one. I can't think of what the name was, like with the robot.
Yeah.
Like there's Spider Woman. There's a ton of them in there.
No, it's a very big roster of spider people, which honestly, the name of the game it's to sell and move action figures, which this movie definitely will. So it's like,
Yep.
well,
Yeah.
and then, who knows? Maybe like it's my speculation. I don't know anything right now. I haven't talked to anybody, but I think it's also this far out because they want to try to line it up with some of the TV shows they're developing based on Spider Verse. So it would make sense if they're developing them at the same time, then kind of blitz into that year, being like, "Yo, you saw the new movie? Check out these two spin-offs."
But the dip in quality though. Ugh.
Yeah. Are you telling
But
me that
I
those like Lego movies aren't as good as the TV shows and vice versa? Because there's people that swear by those Lego TV shows. I'm like, oh, they're bad.
Lego TV shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they're not
I've never heard of
they're not that bad, but compared to what potentially Sony could do, they're like a bar that they probably won't meet.
I mean,
at least the bar for Spider-Man TV shows from Sony is Spectacular Spider-Man, so it's
right.
They can do it. It's just whether like
it's just how much Avi Arad does get to mingle with it all or not. Like that's the big one.
Yeah.
So
it's true.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm excited by this. Like, I want this one. I'm also wondering what happens to some of the other ones, like the all-female one that they were saying they're developing. Like, is that gonna happen still?
Like some people are saying, like it depends on how I guess the second one's gonna do before they do that spinoff.
Ooh.
But which is weird because then why announce it in the first place?
Right.
I mean, they announced the Black Cat movie and the Silver Sable movie.
Yeah, that's only pictures, not animation. So we can.
Sony Animation's slightly smarter.
Slightly.
Yeah,
They made the Emoji movie. We made smarter.
Look, I'm trying.
I mean, that was probably a call from above. Like,
that's why I said slightly smarter. I'm not giving them full credit because
Also, hey, the Emoji movie made a ton of money. So,
I got a question.
Something.
Did Sony do Pixels?
Yes.
That seems like a Sony movie. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, or at least I'm certain it was a Sony movie.
If not, just blame Sony anyway. They probably had something to do with it.
Yeah. I mean, I kept blaming Sony for the Sonic movie despite it not being Sony, so.
That makes sense, yeah.
It just feels like a Sony movie.
I'll go, totally. So, yeah, I think we can all just go around and say we're really excited about Spider-Verse 2. If there's one thing I want with this one, it's no Venom. But I think we're gonna get Venom.
You're gonna get it.
I know.
There's no way they don't do it.
I know. That's like
And it'll be Tom Hardy like really phoning it in, like literally and like metaphorically.
I bet. I totally bet it's gonna be that.
Well, what's the bets that like the 9 that they teased aren't actually in the movie? It's like an aping Endgame scene from the end, and they have like all spider webs open, or like they have a massive web. And then all like the gaps between the strands make portals, and it all comes.
The live action Madam Web is going to show up to build up the spin-off. Yeah, and she's going to release the animated ones. Oh,
yeah. Done. There you go.
I can see Abby sweating right now. He's like, "This is gold. Somebody write this."
So I just did Abby. There you go.
Yeah. No, I'm excited. It's a sequel to Spider-Verse, which I absolutely love. Like, it's a film I can keep watching over and over, and as a matter of fact, I do. Like. Every time I'm going somewhere now, I have that on my phone and my tablet as like a default watch this when you're traveling. So it's.
I've only seen it twice, but I watched it the second time in 4K, and I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I like that memory.
It's so
now
good.
until forever.
Right. So that's it for the current news for Spider-Verse 2, but there'll be plenty more right around the. Matt Reeves' The Batman is closing out and rounding out its cast, and oh boy, what a cast they have. Like, I don't know how much more hype I can get for this film, considering the level and, like, caliber of actor they're getting. And, to start it off, Andy Serkis, like, that's automatically you add him to anything and I'm in. So
that's a hell of a casting.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a casting. Also, apparently, like, the word is he wanted a bigger role, but directing Venom 2 is in conflict with the Batman filming, so he had to take a smaller one, hence why he's now Alfred. But I'm not going to complain. It's a really good choice for Alfred. Like, it's a proper left ball, what feels like a typical Matt Reeves casting. So he's obviously seen something.
Right, like that's what this entire movie has been is Matt Reeves casting. Like you're just like, wow, you're coming at from Batman to the latest casting of Colin Farrell. Everything is like, I didn't expect any of this. Like, and
No, Colin Farrell's the one that kind of worries me a little bit.
really, because I like him as
yeah,
an actor. Like
see, I don't like him as a person either. I think he's a bit of a knobhead.
I do get that vibe from him. He definitely had that stint in the 2000s where he was so full of himself and kind of like dragged his career down and really like acted better than everybody. And you can tell because he kind of crashed and burned his career there for a bit.
Yeah.
So
and then he did Dumbo,
you
which he kind of like, hey, I did Dumbo, I need a payday.
yeah, he did. Yeah.
I don't really want to work hard or be in the spotlight, so hey, I'll be a penguin.
Which I didn't mind him actually in Dumbo. Like I thought he was pretty good in that, along with Danny DeVito. Which hey, look, a penguin connection there. You see?
No.
Folks?
Why couldn't we get DeVito back?
Oh, I wish.
Or at least can we get DeVito in the movie as a little wink and a nod?
That'd be kind of cool.
Just do it.
I mean, I still just want the Seth Rogen laugh coming out of Penguin. I don't care what no one says.
That'll throw be a missed opportunity on that one. Just like,
No,
kind of one.
when it comes to like this whole film and how many villains they have in now, I'm seeing a lot of people worry about it again. Now,
I mean, of course people are. Which, to be fair, the history of comic book movies having one or like two or more villains is a rocky one. So I can understand why.
And to my knowledge, I could be wrong on this. Most Batman movies have focused on multiple villains, other than like the Joker-centric films. So it kind of sets a normal, like precedent for what Batman's done. And again, with all the rumors and everything we've heard about which direction they're taking this film in and what Matt Reeves is doing and how the world is going to be set up. Most recently, our friend Tom over from Geeks Worldwide, he dropped that little hint, was like, hey, look, a lot of these villains
it's being compared to like Sherlock, isn't it?
Exactly. So it's like, there's a lot of stuff that they say about this movie that I'm like, anytime they add anything to it, it bumps up on my most anticipated list. Like currently that year is like, it's stacked and Batman is right on top there. So
it like the indication from that is there's going to be no pearls being thrown in an alleyway. So automatically the best Batman movie ever made. But we'll see on that one. I can imagine Matt Reeves just putting in there somewhere as a little piss take. But
I mean, they made a whole TV series around the damn pearls. So like,
it's true.
What are you gonna do these days? I don't know. Like,
and apparently it was the big pivotal moment at the end in a certain other movie. But,
well, also even Batwoman deals with it now as a big old subplot, and I'm like, you really have to? Like, come on. Like, yeah. Yep, it's those those pearls get more mileage than actual characters in these films. Like, I don't.
They spent more time on the floor than around the neck. Christ, those poor things.
So with the movie going into shooting stage rather soon, since they're gearing up, what out of like left field other villains and castings do you think they could possibly make? Is there something that you think is going to happen that you're like, what?
Well, who else was in the Long Halloween? I know Joker was in there, but I don't see
Joker,
them having another Joker quickly after this one.
Let's see. I think Two-Face was one. Calendar Man.
Two-Face is a weird one because there's that rumor about Matthew McConaughey,
right?
Which isn't coming from anyone reputable. No, I think the Daily Mail started it off.
See, I thought that the Daily Mail was reputable because I don't read them, and then people are like, "Oh no, they're like the Inquirer." I was like, "God damn
it!" The Daily Mail is.
I got it now. It's Two-Face, Scarecrow, Joker, Mad Hatter, Poison Ivy, and the Riddler.
Right, so we got the Riddler. Could you throw Ivy in there, or is like Margot Robbie gonna swipe Ivy?
Oh, she swiped Harley guaranteed. Like that's yo, Calendar Man, like, toss my boy in there.
I mean, yeah. But then again, you could just put Ivy in there. It's a bit of a sausage fest right now.
It
only got
is.
Zoe Kravitz.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still just want Clayface.
Same. Oh,
Seth Rogen for Clayface, done. There. That laugh coming out of a big pile of mud, perfect.
that would be perfect.
Scorsese's going to come out and claim it's cinema, and I 100% agree.
This is the most cinematic comic book moment I've ever seen. I can't disagree with this one.
It's art.
Okay, hear me out. Can we get Calendar Man to be revealed, the one that orchestrated this entire thing? Like, he ends up being the ultimate villain of the movie. So
I mean, sure, why not?
Like, that's kind of what I want. And who do I want as Calendar Man?
Jonah Hill, done.
You know what? Yeah.
I mean, because you say that Calendar Man is gonna play a part in if they're going with Long Halloween. He's
Right.
gonna play a major part in it, so
Right.
could be.
Well, that's if he adapts that bit. Like,
True.
we assume it's all based on it, which it's looking like it is based on Long Halloween. But I don't know. No. We've got a lot of villains in there as it is. I don't know. I don't know if Calendar Man's even been rumored for it, but I suppose we'll see in the end, really.
Okay, hear me out. Let's cast Robert De Niro as Calendar Man, and we'll have the most film and cinema film of all time.
Well, I don't get Scorsese as Calendar Man.
Sure.
You know, after all, he did Shark Tale, which, you know.
Wow.
Then
Masterpiece.
again, Shark
That's a
Tale
masterpiece
has
right
art
there.
in the. It does have art in the title, so it's fine.
That's true. You prove a valid point. So I think what we're saying is we're excited for this film. I think that's the general consensus people should take away from this. Can't wait.
Which
to
is
see-
weird because I don't like Batman as a character in general, but a Batman reboot is like, yeah, cool. No, I'm here for it. But
I'm part of the camp that I like Batman's world, but I like everything around him more than himself. That's where I'm at. You know, like I'm like.
Well, you don't want to see the Waynes get shot for the 20th time?
I mean,
only the 20th. I wish I was that young again.
you know, like at this point, the Waynes getting mauled down in a back alley is like the Uncle Ben moment. If it doesn't happen, you know, there's going to be people making video essays about how they don't understand it didn't exist. It's like, did Batman's family actually get gunned down because we didn't see it?
It's like, are we sure they're her pearls on the floor and it's not someone else's? Was that really Bruce Wayne in the alleyway? How can we tell?
He just
It
monologues
was
and
Jason
alludes to
Todd
them.
all along.
Oh, imagine if they did that. It's like, oh yeah, that was actually Jason Todd. No.
Well, you see, what they're gonna reveal is that, like Calendar Man is gonna have a J tattooed on his cheek, and it's gonna be revealed that it's not Calendar Man, it's actually Jason Todd, and it wasn't originally the Joker like everybody thought. Remember those good old days?
Yeah. He's got damaged on his forehead because he's damaged. He died.
Good old movie pilot. Remember them? R.I.P.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Well, more and more Ant-Man news keeps on hanging in.
Spit it out, man.
I was going to try to segue this into a shrinking and hitting one, but I was like, I stopped myself, but I didn't want to stop myself. So, Ant-Man news keeps coming at us. It's hitting us like a tiny bullet. And, yeah, how about that Ant-Man 3? Who's excited besides us three?
I mean, it's quite poignant that there's only 3 people.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Prequel, yeah, prequel.
So,
There seems to be a very divisive decision to have a third one. Some people are like, why make an Ant-Man 3? It's like, 'cause it's $1 billion franchise.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why.
Because
sure, it's combined, but still.
I mean, still, and let's be real. You need to keep on doing franchises like this to make these characters more established and known. And I mean, here's the part that blows my mind. People constantly complaining that Disney is only going for $1 billion big films and they don't want to do anything that's smaller. Ant-Man physically and literally is a smaller scale comic book film, and they're like, but we don't want Ant-Man. It's like,
They want all of their franchises to be $1 billion franchises, not just the Avengers. So
I think everyone would want their franchise to be $1 billion.
Yeah.
No, you know, it makes sense. The whole the smoke around Young Avengers. You know, the first one we know is Cassie, and she's been in 2 of these movies, and we now have an older Cassie, so let's kickstart all that off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, let's make her Stature and not Stinger, because Stinger sucks.
Well, Marvel said Stinger.
Well, Marvel's wrong.
I mean, they'll probably just do the amalgam thing, which I won't be
please.
surprised at. And yeah, it's like, oh, can we do the proper thing? Like, not the...
So yes, there was an Ant-Man and Stinger before in Marvel Comics 2, but let's not remember Marvel Comics 2. No, that wasn't Cassie. At least I don't think it was Cassie anyway. No, we have Cassie Lang as Stature, and we stick with Stature. It's a better name. It's a better costume. It also stops it being, hey, all the guys grow and shrink, and then the girls just shrink and fly. No, let's not pigeonhole everyone. It's just a weird little thing, but
it is. And also, it's like, the thing about this one is I'm glad it's Peyton Reed returning, because, again, like, I really like the way he directed the first 2, and I'm glad he gets to conclude his trilogy, because, I mean...
When's the third Spider-Man coming out?
July 2021.
Okay, so I was going to say Peyton Reed's going to be the first one to direct the trilogy, but he's not as John Watts.
Yeah. Which,
but still, we have 3 directors completing the trilogy now at last.
I know, finally.
You got Watts, Reed, and then Gunn. No. Who would have thought Gunn would have been the last one? But hey,
right,
them's the cards, and kind of a crappy hand.
I mean, it's an interesting. Also, if you look at the facts, it's like, dude, we will have gotten an entire Spider-Man trilogy in between 2 Guardians films.
Yeah.
What a time to be alive.
I mean, I would have thought of that anyway, but the situation we had wasn't what I was expecting to happen. So.
Right. Yeah, that's
a bit of a whiplash one.
So, who do you think they go for this one? Because, like, the start date is revealed to be in January of 2021.
I was going to say, what's his name? Michael Douglas said January 2021, which... I don't know.
Dude, that's far off.
If that's accurate, because we've heard was it Benedict Wong said, oh yeah, we're going to start shooting Doctor Strange 2 in January. It's just kind of like, well, it's been a year since then. You haven't actually got a script, so no, you're not going to start filming that this year. So I don't know if the actors know 100%, but if it is the 2021 start date, that means it's February 2022, which puts it out of the traditional July date for Ant-Man movie.
Honestly, I like that date for. I was kind of used to it, but it's like, why would you toss out Ant-Man in February as well? Because February's typically seen as a lesser month, so I don't know.
I mean, they made $1 billion in the February, so is it lesser anymore? Who really knows at this point?
I don't know. It's just, it is what it is. And for me, I just like, where would they want to go with the third Ant-Man movie?
We have a hanging plot thread from the first one.
Yeah.
Let's find out where those pin particles went. What did Mitch Carson do with them? Have that be like have that be the way Cassie gets the powers.
That could work.
You literally got like a vial of pin particles hanging around. You know, have them. I don't know. Maybe they kidnap Cassie. Maybe Cassie gets involved in it in some way, shape, or form, and then she ends up being the test subject or an accident, and that's how she gets them.
Oh, that's good.
Or they could actually, just to keep giving out oars and spitballing, they could do the whole like heart surgery Cassie Lang has in the comics in Scott's origin, and they do it that way, and it gets like muddled up.
They could.
Wait, in the comics, do they ever like state? Well, we know why. They specifically state why Scott and Cassie are just completely adaptable to pin particles.
Well, Scott's the suit, but Cassie's actually like is part of it. She's kind of like a Janet, like Wasp, where she like the powers are hers. It's not like anything else. It's all inherently her. At least that's what, as far as I'm aware.
See, I've only read so little with Stature in it that I don't even know. So I'm like,
The most exposure I've had to Stature was in the Ultimates, when I didn't actually realize it was Cassie Lang until like the end. It's just like, oh, it was Cassie Lang.
Yeah, because that's as much as I have too. Because then after that, like they just redid everything. Everyone has giant man powers now.
Yeah. So I've read a bit of Young Avengers. I haven't read the entire thing, but I will get around to it. But
Yeah.
that's the extent of like what I know anyway.
All right. Well, I mean, Ant-Man 3, we're all excited, I think. Generally.
Yeah.
We seem to be the dudes on line championing it, so we'll
Well,
take it.
it's because we get paid by Disney to like it.
True.
We can't say anything bad against it.
This is
so.
true. This is, in fact, true. No eyes detected. So that's that.
I'm the host now.
Deadpool 3 in development. Possibly revealed how they might be going about this and what it could be called. So what's the news around here?
I see now. I can't tell if this came from Hybrid Network or if it came from Charles Murphy on Twitter.
I don't know because I tried to look it up because I was like tracing it, and a couple people I found were not tracing back to where they said it, but they're reporting the same thing. So I'm like, I have no idea.
And so basically, what it is they got a production company and it's called Finger Guns.
Yep.
Which
Really?
Hybrid Network are assuming, or their guess is it's Deadpool 3. And they also say it's a movie. Now, I don't necessarily know if a movie is 100% accurate. It could very well be.
Mm-hmm.
Another possible case that's been like kind of thrown around is it's actually for the Hawkeye series. But I think the big thing at the minute now is that it is for Deadpool. I think more people are saying Deadpool than Hawkeye. So my only thing would be leaning more towards Hawkeye is because it hasn't got a 3 on it, but I don't know if it's because it's going to be Marvel Studios' first Deadpool movie or if it's like something like that.
Right.
So if you look at the other ones, like one we're going to talk about in a minute, it's called Blur 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the Ant-Man 3 ones is Pym Particles or Pym Laboratories 3.
Yeah.
So it's got like the number for the sequel in it. So it could go either way.
Yeah, because if you look at their at all the movies that have been put up before, they're just subtitles, no more,
But these are the production titles, not the actual movie title.
And production titles sometimes tend to kind of hint towards it. Sometimes they don't. Like, it's a weird one because sometimes they're trying to hide stuff, but we clearly know what it is. Like,
because they'll call it something completely different other than what it was.
yeah.
That's why this is called like Finger Guns. It's like to be fair, either way it fits. If it's Deadpool or if it's the Hawkeye series, because what's her name? Kate Bishop has she has joked about Finger Guns before, and Deadpool is Deadpool, so Finger Guns would make sense. But
Would they be in production of Deadpool 3 this early on though? Like,
that's the thing though, isn't it? Because we know Ryan Reynolds has been meeting with people. Like, he's obviously signed back on again. The writers have been talking about it, acting like they're signed back on again. So I suppose it's in development. Like I don't know. I can't say for certain, but it could be. I don't know.
I mean,
but
it's still also one of these things. It's like, well, do they put it out through 20th Century Fox label as the R-rated? There's no way they put it out through Disney's Buena Vista, which, what they put out all the Disney stuff through. Like, that's not gonna happen. Like, it's kind of a weird one when it comes to this one. So I'm assuming somebody's gonna do a little bit more digging in the next couple weeks and uncover, more details about it.
Yeah, we'll find something. I imagine Marvel Studios will make like a little subsidiary.
Oh,
and be like, hey, yeah, Marvel Knights Studios or Max Marvel Studios. Something like that. I don't know.
Oh, kind of like they did. Remember they did that for Punisher Warzone? They started Marvel Knights then... Yeah. Actually, they probably should do that, honestly. Like, that should be a thing.
No, because it was a thing before, wasn't it? It wasn't the old like Punisher movie.
Yeah, I think just Warzone and Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. I think that was the second one. I think those two fell under it, which... Warzone was executive produced by Kevin Feige, but he was just like named on the second Ghost Rider because that was a Sony thing, so didn't have much there. But I mean, it is what it is. Deadpool 3, we know it's kind of a guarantee. Well, okay, Deadpool 3 is not a guarantee because
Deadpool's a guarantee.
Deadpool's a guarantee. We just don't know how they're going to handle that going forward. So it is what it is. I'm hopeful that maybe it'll be like a softish reboot with just the same character. That's my hope.
I imagine it would be.
Because
you keep it in the same trilogy, but you
Right.
can just there's like free material right there for actual clever jokes in a Deadpool movie for a change. Not
Deadpool 2.
yeah.
I will take any chance I get to hate on that movie. It's just
Yeah.
Yep.
Did we do the commentary on that one yet?
No, I don't want to do that. I mean, we'll have
we're
to,
gonna,
but I don't
we're
want to
gonna
do
have
that.
to now.
Yeah.
You could have just literally said yes and I'd have believed it.
Oh. Yeah,
It's
but
like,
then
cool, well, we've already done it. That's fine.
then we would have had freaking Alan contact me, be like, "You lied," and I'm like, "Oh, Alan, goddamn it,
Damn it.
how does your brain work so much that you just remember this stuff?"
It's got the Charlie Day wall of all the content we've done. And it's just like they haven't done it.
So yeah, Deadpool in the MCU. We'll know more about it probably within the next half year. I'm assuming we're gonna find out a little bit more. But
San Diego, I imagine. Give it 6 months, and then we'll find out.
Do you think they're going to San Diego next year? Because I don't think they are. I think they're gonna do every other year.
I reckon. I bet they will.
Well, just leave it to DC for the love of God. Let them come out there and do something.
I mean, they what are they doing? No, they got the Batman and Wonder Woman will be out.
Got Green Lantern. Bring out Greg Berlanti to a standing golf clap.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, Fantastic Four. What's happening with Marvel's first family, Mitch? What's the latest scoop on this?
Oh, it's a lot. There's a production company or production titled Limbo.
Yep.
And there's a lot of chatter around it being Fantastic Four, which I think it's a 2022 movie, which would make sense because that's the date we've heard before, and we know it's a priority for Feige, this movie and this franchise. But the interesting part is they called it Limbo 1, where usually when it's the first movie they don't call it 1.
Right.
I know today they usually title it, but like if it's a sequel, they give it the numbers.
I mean, if this is in fact happening, we'd be getting castings by, end of 2020. Like, that's realistically...
Yeah. It's real quick.
Wow,
quick.
that is a quick turnaround. I mean, first, let me preface this by saying I have no doubt that Kevin Feige has had a perfect Fantastic Four film in his head since he was born. Like, he was like, I'm going to fix this franchise before it ever even, tanked in Hollywood. Because, he was
you could cut that man open and it literally just bleeds a good Fantastic Four trilogy.
It bleeds the best script so far, and even if it's bad, it'll still be the best. That's so sad.
That's the sad part in it.
So, 2022 would be a real fast turnaround, but then again...
It's 7 years after Fantastic. It's enough time.
Nobody remembers that film, so... Yeah.
I just did.
Oh, they remember.
Everyone remembers.
They remember it.
That movie's so terrible.
Yeah,
so, what do you think that this movie just straight up reboots them without introducing any of the characters in any other film? Because to me, I always figured they would be like, look, we got to see how these characters interact and how the audience responds, like Black Panther and such. So they're just gonna go straight into this being like Fantastic Four again. Like, man, that's crazy to me.
I think they have to really. I think the four need their own movie first. It's like, no, we need to get these guys right, and then we can bring them in. Also, it depends on how the story goes. Like, if they do the whole 60s setting, you can't. You could have some people in there, like a Peggy Carter or Michael Douglas or whatever. But
right.
I think you kind of really need them to be on their own and go like, look, no, these guys can stand on their own without anyone else.
I mean, to me, it's like I've always been, since the beginning of CBC, I've been saying I want the Fantastic Four to be part of the space race. Like, that's the whole thing. Make it a period piece. Get them lost out there in the quantum realm, other realm, another multiverse. I don't care where they are. But, like, the post-credit scene of that movie should clear as day be them crashing in modern day and being discovered by, like, Avengers or something. It's like, oh, okay, there's your in. And I think if you were to do a period piece, which, I hope that's what they're doing, it gives me that, like, hope of a completely different style of MCU film. Not that I'm saying, that they all look the same. That's not what I'm saying. I'm obviously very much against that mentality. They all have that same feel and that Kevin Feige touch where it's like you can tell they're in the same universe. Fantastic Four would kind of feel like that as well because like Agent Carter did, but it would have that unique flair to it that just visually sets it apart from anything else out there. Like, could you imagine if they did the 60s theme and setting, right? And their suits are reminiscent of suits of that age, right? But then when they come to modern age, you upgrade them to proper MCU modern day suits. Like, it makes me hope
get the unstable molecules in there,
right? Like, it makes me hope for that Captain America, like the first Avenger when he's wearing that cheesy USO suit, like something like that to honor what's come before. Because to me, the Fantastic Four should be honored and treated like the kings of Marvel. Like,
I mean, they literally are Marvel.
Right.
Like,
so
they're not just the first family; they are the first.
Yeah, it's a pretty big deal to bring these characters in. So,
also set in the 60s. 60s is like the one decade we haven't really touched on in the MCU.
Yeah, we got like the one little thing with Hank, and that's it. Like that's It's like that's 30.
Was
seconds.
That even the 60s or was that like the 80s?
I thought that was the 60s because of the whole. Was it the Cuban Missile Crisis that was happening? I can't remember right now.
Oh, you might be right, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Because I think there was also something to do with Cuba in the first one.
Yeah, because there's that flashback video of him taking people out in the tanks, weren't there? Yeah.
So I wasn't confused now because I was watching Predator and I was in the jungle. Man. Don't mind how my brain works.
So no, like it's Limbo as well, kind of just that title. Like, if they do set it in the 60s and they get in the quantum realm, you could say the quantum realm's Limbo, or like the city in there's Limbo for them.
Right.
So it's kind of that weird. I mean, you got to think like a company sort of thing.
How about they do it like this? If you're gonna put out Ant-Man at the beginning of 2022, why not have the post-credit scene be the Fantastic Four, and then lead that into Fantastic Four at the end of 2022? Like, that's a pretty good loop around, start the year, and then
what's the last date we got for 2022?
Ooh, let me just bring up this list I have here.
So is it July or is it like November? I mean, a Fantastic Four movie in July could work. Can't see why not.
I mean, let's say you do February 2022, February 18th is the date. You do Ant-Man, Black Panther on May 6th, and then July you do Fantastic. Dude, that is a stacked year.
Yeah.
Damn. Because Black Panther 2 is going to do well over like 1.5 billion.
Like, it's going to be huge.
That's going to make up for what Ant-Man is going to sort of lack, and then Fantastic Four is honestly like the question mark. It'll do big, but how big is the question? And like maybe you could even toss in if it's like modern day, who knows how they're going to do it, or maybe hell. Could you imagine if it's a 60s film and they bring in like T'Chaka in that amazing suit he had?
I was just about to say, instead of having the Ant-Man connection, let's go for Black Panther, because they actually have that connection in the comics.
Bro.
Like, you could have them work with T'Chaka in the 60s or whoever was Black Panther at that point.
Yeah.
And then, say your final act fight is them fighting in the 60s, but they end up in modern day, like Wakanda.
They crash on the outskirts or something. Oh, man.
Yeah. So it's kind of like them finding it still, but we've already known about it. So it's a nice little wink and a nod.
And I need this to happen so I can get whatever Black Panther suit he has as a hot toy, since I love those suits and I buy the hot toys of the Black Panthers like they're going out of style. So, damn, yeah. And I mean, how cool would it be if they recreated that cover of Black Panther? Oh, yeah. God damn, that would be a poster.
That could be the post-credit scene.
That would be amazing. All right, Feige,
please. I need this now.
Right. Make it so. So I think all of us here, Fantastic Four, the faster we can get it, the better. I think that's our agreement.
And I can wait till 2022. It's fine.
Dude, I can wait another
I've
decade.
waited my entire life for one anyway, so I can wait a couple more years.
Right? Yeah, that's exactly how I feel about it. So, we'll see it, I guess, when it drops, and has now brought us to the end of this podcast. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. We're right under that 40-minute mark where we like to keep it, because we've noticed that kind of leads into the analytics where people are like, oh, this is a pretty good length podcast. If you like the podcast to be longer, that's the members topic. That's really it. And some other stuff we're doing. Tristan and I... Do we
Thought you
talk
were gonna say
video
too bad.
games? Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Too bad. Yeah. Too bad, suckers. I mean, I think Tristan and I are probably going to try to pull out another gaming podcast this week because there's been a few topics to talk about, and the last time we got a
Are
pretty
you
good
going to be
response.
talking about the Pokemans?
I'll try to.
Maybe. I've been largely ignoring it, but
To be fair, if you don't want any leaks, like ignore it because there's everything.
I saw.
Everything is out.
That
Not
is
that
true.
I gave you a chance to avoid it. I just kind of bombarded the chat.
Which
It's
that was
like-
fine. Like honestly, it's Pokemon. I kind of know what to expect, and the leaks I don't care about. Like so, it is what it is.
So many people just get let up in arms. It's like I didn't want to know what it looked like. It's like, well, you do now.
Well, whatever.
That's like those people on Twitter. Is, I didn't want to see it. And why are you going through the Pokemon hashtag?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's the worst part. Just like, oh.
So with that in mind, we will catch you all guys next week for next week's podcast, and we'll hopefully see you in the member section for some more videos and our upcoming members topic.